Above Average crew, and welcome to another episode where we are covering one of my favorite families, the Ball family. So I am excited to cover this because they are actually on break from their very popular Facebook Live TV show called The Ball in the Family that I cover. So I'm excited to talk about this, and sit tight because it's about to get juicy. It's definitely some lessons that we can all take away from this. And overall, I am super proud of Lonzo. So I'm just going to read straight from ESPN because they broke it down amazing. So no need for me to paraphrase. Los Angeles Lakers guard Lonzo Ball has severed ties with a co-founder of the Big Baller brand over concerns that the longtime family friend has a criminal past and also has not adequately accounted for the whereabouts of roughly $1.5 million from Ball's personal and business accounts. Ball told ESPN that he believes that Alan Foster, a friend of Lonzo's father for almost a decade, who owns 16.3% of the Big Baller brand, has used his access to my business and personal finances to enrich himself. As a result, I have decided to sever all ties with Alan effective immediately. Foster has served as the business manager of all of Ball family's companies, including Big Baller Brand, which was formed as a limited liability company in 2014. Foster developed a close relationship with the Ball family around 2010 when Lonzo and Foster's son became friends as 7th graders. It was Foster, Lonzo's father, LeVar Ball, has said, who has helped to convince him to create the shoe and apparel company. So pretty much what they're saying is that the Big Baller brand is Alan Foster's idea, and he really was the driving force to push him to create an apparel company surrounding his 3 sons that play basketball, rather than to allow Lonzo to sign one of the guaranteed multi-million-dollar endorsement deals that had been offered by a more established shoe company such as Nike and Adidas. According to the documents and emails reviewed by ESPN, questions about Foster's business decisions and communication were first raised last fall to Lonzo and LeVar by Lonzo's financial advisor. The advisor, Humbo Lukanga of Lifeline Financial Group, alleged in an October email that Lonzo's personal taxes and the Big Baller's taxes could not be completed on time due to an inability to account for the whereabouts of $1.5 million. Sources close to the Ball family told ESPN that Lonzo expressed his concerns about Foster to his father several times over the past few months, but deferred to LeVar to manage the situation. It wasn't until this week, the same sources said, that LeVar fully reviewed the email warnings and documents from Lukanga, as he had been traveling overseas with his younger sons in the fall. Remember, he was in charge of the JBA, the Junior Ball Association, and both Melo and Jello were playing there overseas, and Alan was there right with him, being the manager for all of that. The sources described LeVar as stunned when the emails and documents were read to him. LeVar declined comment, but issued a statement to ESPN calling the situation devastating. When contacted by ESPN last week to discuss his past and the Big Baller brand, Foster initially offered to arrange an in-person meeting alongside LeVar at the Ball estate in Chino Hills, California. But repeated subsequent attempts via email, phone calls, and text messages this week to reach Foster for his perspective were met with no response. Late Thursday night, he suggested meeting in person at the Ball estate on Friday, but then late on Friday suggested mid-next week because he was super busy. He otherwise offered no comment. 2 weeks ago, in an interview with Lonzo that covered various on- and off-court topics, an ESPN reporter asked him questions about the status of the Big Baller brand and also whether he had been aware that Foster had a prior criminal record that involved financial misdeeds. In 2002, Foster was sentenced to more than 7 years in prison after pleading guilty to 1 count of mail fraud and 2 counts of money laundering as part of a scheme that defrauded 70 investors of $4 million, according to the federal courts obtained by ESPN. Foster was ordered to pay $3.7 million in restitution to victims. Lonzo said he had not been aware of this history and that he would check into that matter. Multiple sources close to the balls told ESPN that Lonzo soon after began asking those close to him questions about Foster's past and also began to revisit the allegations made by Lukanga. The same sources told ESPN last week Lonzo's personal manager, Darren Moore, raised questions with Lonzo and Lukanga about a separate matter involving Foster, taxes related to the income from the Ball's family lucrative Facebook-watch reality series, Ball and the Family. Facebook has now issued a statement to the reality show. They say, "We support the family," the statement to ESPN said. "Alan Foster will not be a member of the cast moving forward." Moore told ESPN that he had been unsuccessfully trying to determine through Foster whether expenses and revenues related to the series had been allocated properly by Foster. Moore declined to answer additional questions but issued a statement this week distancing himself from Foster. Alan Foster was more than a trusted advisor, Moore said. He was a mentor, a father figure, and someone Lonzo and I respected, loved, and listened to. I'm proud of Lonzo for waking up and taking back his power. Together, we will fight for justice. According to incorporation documents filed in Wyoming obtained by ESPN, Lonzo owns 51% of Big Baller Brand and his father 16.4%. Lonzo's mother and Foster each own 16.3%. Though Lonzo said in a statement that he had severed all ties with Foster, it was unclear Friday how the business ties would be untangled. Sources close to the Ball said Lonzo first made the decision independent of his father. It also remains unclear Friday what business ties remain between LeVar and Foster. In an October email sent to Lonzo and his father under the subject line, "Urgent, $1.5 million missing," Lukanga wrote that he had been unsuccessful in having Foster track down where $1.5 million in cash had gone. Lukanga wrote that he had repeatedly asked Foster about transactions totaling that amount, but Foster won't show any invoices or documentation of these expenses. He won't give me the numbers to the vendors he says he's paid. I've never seen a company operate by withdrawing millions in cash. Only you and Alan can withdraw cash, and I know you didn't take the $1.5 million, so where is the money? Lukanga attached 2 itemized reports to the email that he alleged showed unexplained cash withdrawals from Big Baller Brand and transactions between BBB and Foster's business, Marathon Consulting Incorporation. Over $1.5 million has disappeared, and he has wired over $474,000 to himself through Marathon Consulting. See attached report. So close to $2 million has touched Alan's hands, but $1.5 million of it has disappeared in cash and can't be tracked, Lukanga wrote. The whereabouts of the $1.5 million remains unclear. By late November, Lukanga no longer represented Lonzo, though he has now been rehired by Lonzo in recent days. Lukanga says, "My purpose in this lifetime is to protect, serve, and educate families, especially black families," Lukanga wrote in his October email. "It's breaking my heart to see the Ball family being taken advantage of. I love the family. Things aren't right with the companies." Lonzo said in his statement to ESPN that he has directed Lukanga, Moore, and his agent Harrison Gaines to help him sort out this matter. "This has been a very difficult decision as I had a great deal of love and respect for Alan," Lonzo said. "But the time has come for me to take responsibility for my own career both on and off the court." Lonzo's agent Gaines issued a statement to ESPN this week saying he had been on the periphery of the rest of the Ball family business and that Lonzo has now empowered me to take a more active role in his career. In his statements to ESPN this week, Lukanga referenced his long-term financial advising business, Lifeline Financial Group, which counts entertainers such as Issa Rae, athletes such as Houston Texans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins among its clients. We are relieved that Lonzo has taken the necessary steps at age 21 to remove Foster from any involvement in his business affairs, Lukonga wrote. We remain committed to help Lonzo take full control over his financial future. Sources close to the Ball family told ESPN that Lukonga in the fall resigned from his position advising Lonzo because of his concerns over the tax issues and the lack of explanation he'd received about the alleged missing money. The Los Angeles Lakers declined comment this week to ESPN about Lonzo's personal and business matters. In addition to work with Big Baller Brand and LeVar's Junior Basketball Association, a professional league for developing players, Foster appeared in almost every episode of Ball in the Family. He was often shown consulting with LeVar on decisions that affected the family or the business. In one episode, Foster was trying to find out why players from the JBA had trouble collecting on their paychecks. In an interview with ESPN, the magazine in 2017, LeVar raved about Foster. He said, "This dude is one of the smartest suckers ever. He knows how everything goes. We had shirts made that said Team Ball and Unbelievable Ball, and he, Foster, said, 'LeVar, your creativity is crazy. Let's create a brand, man. Your brand is bigger than anything. Somebody's going to run away with your shit, man.'" He, Foster, was like, "I'll tell you what. You're going to put all the work in with your boys. I'll come back and run the agency. Whatever you need me to do, let's do it though." Foster met the Ball family not long after being released from prison for his role in the 2002 financial scheme. Foster was already facing the financial crime charges when he was found guilty in Los Angeles County on a 1999 citation for carrying a concealed handgun without a license. And in September 2009, while still under probation for the financial scheme conviction, Foster was arrested on a felony-level violation of his supervised release that is not specified in the court documents. He was sentenced to 5 months in prison and was released in February 2010, which would have been about a year before he met the Ball family. On the financial scheme, Joseph Zwicker, the lead prosecutor in the case, told ESPN, "They targeted African Americans that they got to know through churches and by other means, and they made various misrepresentations to them about their ability to return large sums of money, which were false," and they admitted that. Lonzo, seen as the future of the Lakers before the arrival of LeBron James, was shut down this season with a severe ankle injury after 47 games. It marked his third separate ankle injury, which left the Lakers searching for what could be the root issue of his troubles, including asking about the Big Baller Brand shoes. "Yeah, they talked to me," Lonzo Ball said to ESPN. "They asked me about it and I told them I feel comfortable. If I wasn't comfortable, I wouldn't play in them. If I didn't play in his signature BBB shoes, I'd play in Kobe Bryant's signature Nike shoes. I work out in LeBron James' signature Nike shoes, but that's because they're heavier." Lonzo also said he told the Lakers he was open to making adjustments, just minor things, he said, to his Big Baller Brand shoes if needed. According to two sources close to the family, over the past 2 years, the Lakers, too, expressed concerns to Foster over numerous customer complaints about the Big Baller Brand shoes made to the Better Business Bureau, which gave the company a failing grade in 2018. Last year, the Bureau reported receiving 184 complaints over the past 3 years, mostly involving problems sending the correct merchandise, shipping orders on time, and not providing information or responding to questions about delivery status. "They still have an F with us," Blair Looney, the president of the Better Business Bureau of Central California and Inland Empire counties, told ESPN in January. "We are continuing to work with them on straightening things out." Looney did say it appears the Big Baller doesn't have the structure in place to handle online orders, and the progress was going slower than we would like to see. "We are trying to help the Big Baller recognize what the issues are with their customers to help them fix those, he said. And they haven't, in our opinion, dedicated the resources it takes to get it done. The Federal Trade Commission has recorded about 200 complaints made against the Big Baller brand from April 2017 through mid-January. Most of them were duplicates of those made to the Better Business Bureau. The FTC enforces federal laws pertaining to internet commerce, but the FTC official's citing policy does not comment on whether the agency is investigating a company. Wow. First of all, shout out to ESPN NBA reporter Malika Andrews, which contributed to this report. There is so much I want to talk about. There is so much to say about this. One, shout out to Humble Lukanga. Everybody, he blew the whistle. He did his job. And he is pretty much a dope Black financial advisor. So one shout outs to him, who really was about his stuff. And you can tell he's honest. He literally said, you know what, I cannot work with you right now because there is something fishy going on and I don't see you trying to get to the bottom of figuring out where this 1.5 million is going on. Like, something is going off. I'm not comfortable working with you. You need to fix this. So one, shout out to him. I need to do more research and probably do like a whole expose on him because he seems like he got it together. I actually have started following him on Twitter after figuring out about this this thing. Two, guys, I know that we are meeting new people, and yes, new people will clearly take you to the next level. You see that Lonzo needed Lukanga. However, when you go into business with people and you have the money, right? It's not like he didn't have the money to do a background check. You need to do background checks on these people that you work with because he presented himself really well. I watched Ball in the Family and he just seemed so mild-mannered, soft-spoken, nice, and now it's all coming together. The reason why those players didn't get paid is because Allen was pocketing the change. He was taking their money. He's taking, who knows what his payment was, but I'm sure his payment was not $474,000 for 1 year. I'm sure that's not it. I'm gonna guarantee it's not it. There is a lot of things that I am like, whoa. When it comes to some of the seats not being sold, I wonder if the promotion and marketing dollars were not allocated correctly and were pocketed. All of these vendors that he was supposed to be paying and dealing with, there are no receipts. If there's no receipts, there's probably no vendors. He probably just said, oh, I'll pay for that or I'll get that taken care of, but there's nothing. Shout out for people trying to be on top of their money and their accounting and everything in the year. I know sometimes people go you can, I guess, sometimes go 1 or 2 years without doing everything, but it seems like Lonzo is really trying to do things the correct way, and shout out to him because he did it the correct way and he did it on time, and in the real year he was able to catch this. Now you see, I like that Lonzo first gave his dad the chance, Dad, I'm gonna try to rely on you to fix this. Here is October. This is urgent. LeVar was like, whatever, I'll deal with it when I get back. And that is the difference between parents and you. This was I think the major turning. Then he was like, okay, this hasn't been fixed. Let's try this again. You know what? I'm going to take the lead reins. I'm going to take control of this. This is my money. I am the NBA player. Yes, you are my father. Yes, I love you. Yes, I respect you. But you are not me. And this is not your money. And I need to take control of what's going on because I've given you a year to do everything you want to do with my money. You have your Ball Estate family property that I'm sure Lonzo has greatly helped to purchase. The JBA, you see that he is 51% owner of the Big Baller brand. So this is really Lonzo's thing. We see LeVar, and he may be the brain power and be pushing a lot of things, but paper-wise, money-wise, investment-wise, this is Lonzo's brand, and he's kind of been taking a back step. And so now he's like, let me figure this out. My dad wanted me to focus all this money and all this attention into my own company when I could have been working on with someone else. I could have had my signature shoe with someone else. Now, I like that he's able to go ahead and invest his money into a company, but I don't like, and I'm glad that he's looking into this, all the complaints, all the structure, all the infrastructure. They're really great, or LeVar is really great at marketing and the promotion part, but you got to make sure that your back of the house is good. And it looks like because they rely so much on Alan that they haven't had the time to grow organically. And when I mean grow organically, I mean hire customer service people, hire a system in place for tracking and for orders, making sure that people are able to contact you without having to go to the Better Business Bureau or the Federal Trade Commission. When people get to that point, they are fed up. They have already given you time and time again to fix the situation, and they're not happy, or the situation is not going to be rectified or something like that. So I understand. I know how that goes. I have been on the other side where I have been so frustrated with the company that I am looking to see if they have a BBB account set up. So I've been there. I know what it takes to even get to that point. And the fact that there have been, 200 complaints of this in the inception means that they are just moving too fast and they're missing a major piece. And I hope that Lonzo now is working to fix that, and I'm excited to see where he's going to go. I'm excited that at 21 he's able to catch things, and that 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million didn't turn into 10 million, right? And Alan has gone to jail before and has paid up to 3.7 million in restitution, so I'm sure that he'll get majority of his money back. What I am a little disappointed in is in LeVar. I'm disappointed in his slow to take the reins of a really pertinent situation. And I don't know if that just is because he wanted to keep using Alan and seeing the benefit of him. I don't know if he just was in denial. I'm not really sure what was going on, because he carries his mentality like he's always about his business. But in this situation, he completely dropped the ball. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. In the back of the house, I don't know if he knew. I don't know if he didn't know. I'm going to assume that he didn't. But what is the slow take to make something new? Like, if he already stole 1.5 million in October of last year, so what has he taken from October to today or this week, right? So I just think that there's a lot of missing things. I don't know if they wanted to wait until the finale of the Facebook Live group, and Facebook Live TV show, and that's why they waited. I'm not really sure, and I see that he may be kind of frustrated. I went to Mellow Ball's Instagram, and I saw he took away about the Big Baller Brand All-American tournament. He's not posting that anymore. Jello, he hasn't changed anything on his Instagram, and then Lonzo made a not so cryptic message saying that, he's moving on to better things. So I'm excited to see what happens. I hope that this is a sign for everyone. Doing a business, it's hard. There are things that will come, and as you grow in your fandom and in your stardom, there's a lot of people that are going to want to present opportunities to work with you, and not everybody has your best interest at heart. And even the smart people may not have your best interest at heart. Alan is not dumb. Big Baller Brand is successful. He did have something going on with these boys. And we can see, that's the reason that I follow them, because of all of this hoopla and creating the brand and everything. That's why I got into it. So he wasn't wrong in that decision. He just is a scammer and takes advantage of people and is going to try to get more than what he's worth. Like, he's already co-owner and he's still taking more money. You know what I mean? So that's the situation, and that's why these scammers or these situations aren't just so black and white. Like, these people do show value and they do create value to a point. And then once that point is done, they start taking advantage. So no, like, you're not going to get scammed from someone off the street, but you are going to get scammed from someone that, you know, is able to afford the same zip code as you, and they have kids that are your age, and they're nice and friendly and all that stuff. That's how people start get got. And that's why contracts are so important. I do contracts even with my friends because sometimes people just switch up or people have bad days, and I need to know that regardless of the day or mood you are in, or if your agenda or vendetta has changed, that I'm still protected. I hope that you, as you go and move about, you do the same. And I really want to hear a statement about Jello. I really do, because I feel like Jello at the end of the season, we were seeing him really come into his own. We were seeing him, you know, have ideas and see that his brother was kind of taking control of his life. His other brother was doing his own thing. And Jello, I feel like, was the last person to kind of make his own decisions and go outside of his father for guidance. And he was actually going to Lonzo for guidance. And so I am really interested to see where he is, how he feels, what's going on with him. He really doesn't post much. He is not active on social media. We don't really know what he's doing as far as like money or job or even with his time. We don't know if he's like doing basketball or not. We don't know if he feels the need or want to play overseas, or if he is trying to figure out if he can play basketball at college like his brother is, or what is going on. There's really so much up in the air for him. And so I wonder if he's kind of taking a step back, getting some guidance from people outside of the family and outside of his father, and if he'll come back next season or when the next season starts, April 14th, with just a new vendetta, a new push, a new agenda, or maybe even just a newfound career. Honestly, like, he's set up, he has a lot of followers, he could really go in a different direction. He can even go to school to be just a student. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see people come into their own. Kudos for Lonzo for taking direction from his advisors, surrounding him with a team that actually loves, cares, and is authentic and not someone that's going to take advantage. And we'll see what happens. I looked for Alan's Instagram and I couldn't find it anymore, so I don't know what's going on, but I will definitely keep you guys updated, and leave your comments and thoughts below. What do you think about this entire situation? How do you feel about everything? So go ahead, leave your comment below, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you, my above average crew, in the next video. Bye.